Y tú vas a hablar de teatro, ¿no? Yo que estoy, mira qué lindo estoy. Y mira, y me ponen aquí detrás para que lo vean. Sí, pero bueno, yo con esto que tengo.
Estás en vivo porque está en completo.
Tres videos. Vamos a ver. Qué bien me veo, oye.
Hola.
Saludos
Muy bien.
a todos nuestros amigos latinoamericanos.
Ya tenemos un espectador, vamos a explicar que estamos por aquí.
Pero empezaste a grabar ya cuando yo con el...
No, es esta misión, la español estamos.
Ah, bueno, esas son las cosas que dije que no son apropiadas para ustedes.
Aquí el espíritu latino tiene que cambiar.
Pero bueno, pero profesionalismo, una buena proyección.
Muy bien.
¿Ese pelín allá? ¿De que está llegando aquí? Porque esto para conseguir este sitio.
Sí, lo mismo me quita lo que no hay que podemos ver.
Sí,
Porque llegué hoy.
difícil.
Esta vez no me tiene también. Para todos.
Welcome, bienvenidos. I am Miguel García Colón, Chair of the IRC, Las Américas Subcommittee. Thank you for coming. Services to the Spanish speaker, best practices and models from Latin America. Today our speakers will talk about the popular online space forum, Infotecarios. Info for information. Tecario is the last part of the word bibliotecarios, a 5-syllable, and the etymology ario means profession. Before I introduce our guest speakers, I would like to introduce Loida Garcia Ferro, member of the ALA's executive board. She's also an IFLA member of the governing board at IFLA, and she was best known for her work with international libraries. So please, can you say a few words?
Thank you. I just wanted to say a few words on behalf of Reforma, the National Association to promote library and information services to Latinos and Spanish speakers, to welcome you to the conference and to express that we are very happy to have you here all the way from Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Colombia to share with us the work they are doing in Latin America. And hopefully that will help our attendees to find ways adapted to their communities. So thank you, welcome again. And I'm also bringing greetings from the ALA Executive Board.
Thank you, Loida. We're in for a treat. Our speakers will talk to us about Infotecarios, an online forum that permits thousands of people to be part of a free regional and global conversation about librarianship. With us are Mayra Pérez, who's from Puerto Rico. She's a candidate for the doctorate at the University of Eastern American University of Puerto Rico in higher education. Her MLS is from the University of Puerto Rico. She's a librarian manager at the Learning Research Center at the University of Puerto Rico. Saúl Martínez is from Mexico. He is, his undergraduate degree is from el Colegio de Bibliotecarios en la Facultad de Letras, UNAM, which means Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México. He is the author of the book Biblioteca Digital, Digital Library, Concepts and Standards. He is a training manager in Tech in Mexico. From Colombia, we have Santiago Villegas, the University of Antioquia. This is where he studied he received his degree in library science. He is a digital strategist for knowledge management, and he also has a degree in engineering from the University of which stands for Escuela de Administración, Finanza y Tecnología. Please, let's give them a big applause. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We want to do that as a conversation, so please interrupt us every time you want. We are right now streaming online in our blog, so we have now 5 people seeing us online from all around the world, and in live stream too, and in Facebook Live, in Periscope. So maybe there are many other people seeing us from other latitudes. So many thanks to Loida, to Reforma, and to Miguel for our introduction. We are very pleased to be here. Okay, let's start with the conversation. What is Infotecarios.com or Infotecarios.com? We are not a blog. In fact, we have a blog. We have a web address that was explained better by our friend Miguel. And we are a community. We communicate the work and passion of 29 Latin American students and professionals on library and information science. And as you see on the right of the slide, this is an infography that we made around 2 months ago for our 4th anniversary. And if you can understand some Spanish, you see that we are in Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Cuba, El Salvador, Ecuador, Mexico, Peru, Puerto Rico, Uruguay, and Venezuela. And we are always looking for more people to make our community bigger and the relations better. We have more than 10,000 followers in Facebook, Twitter, and other communities. All the day we are sharing not only blog spots, but practices around Latin America. You are invited to follow us. Today, we are tweeting with our Infotecarios, and now the hashtag that we are using right now at the event, that is ALAAC 2016. Okay. Any other? Will you add something that?
So this is interesting. The community that we are making or creating through the Latin America. We have the intention to add more people about Latin America, and of course, all the country, all the continent. This is an interesting project that we try to share all the knowledge and the activity and the actions that the librarians make through the day by day. And this is interesting actions that we can make through this blog. But this is important, the intention to communicate like a channel using the blog, and of course the social media, different media like Facebook, Twitter, and of course like what we're making in this moment, the live streaming. This is another interesting part of this work in this blog specifically.
Okay, and please don't be shy if you are not from Latin America but you want to be part of the Infotecarios. We have, I think, 2 or 3 people from the United States writing posts in Infotecarios, not only for Spanish speakers. In fact, we have posts in English because we want to learn English in Latin America too. So if you want to be part of Infotecarios at the end of the conference, please just share that with us. Okay, these are ourselves. We don't have the direction really well, so we just pass to the next slide. Okay, how we discover these best practices that we are sharing with you today here. We did a survey on our blog. The survey was made in around I think January 21 or something. It was 100% digital. For 4 months it was open. We received 42 answers, most of them from our winner libraries. And we have to ask a question before continuing the presentation, because why only 42? Because it means that it was only 10 by month, something like that, answers for the survey. There are not too many good practices in Latin America, maybe. We know that there are more, very good practices. But as we see later on, we need to improve the way to receive this information and to share this information, right? Well, the survey is still available. In fact, in the last week, because of ALA, there are more than 5 new answers to this survey. It's very important that it's not included here in the statistics. What was the assumptions when we did this survey? First, we thought that the vast majority of the projects will be on public libraries. In my work for Vision Access, I work for Vision Access, the library programs from Bill & Gates Foundation. And so in Colombia and in Latin America, we saw a lot of public libraries making very good innovations. We assume that we'll see that here. And you will see if we did it or not. But I don't want to give it the answer yet. Okay, public libraries will be in the top. We will see high digital components. We see topics related to social development from libraries. We see that less is more, because it happens not only here, it happens in Latin America, in Africa, everywhere in the world, that when the government needs to cut the finance, you know where it is, libraries, museums, everyone, culture, what has no return of investment, or what he thinks has no return of investment. Issues such privacy or copyright are not yet in the landscape of Latin American library. Without that, we see if we are right or not in the answers. What was the result? Well, the first surprise was 54 of the answers was made for academic libraries, not public libraries. Okay, but there are, a little mixed answer there, because most of the academic libraries are from public organizations, right? Because as Saul can tell to you, the universities, the public universities in Latin America has a very high impact on our societies. So most of them are from universities. This is the stats right now. Do you want to add something here, Saul?
Well, when we begin to survive, we were thinking in special things or special objectives about this result that we cannot change. But it was impressed how the participation was in majority to the academic libraries. And sometimes we can think about the problems that we can have the libraries and the librarians to access to the technology, and of course to have the option to make and to say many things about how it works, or maybe sometimes librarians think are making something interesting in their environment, but sometimes we think that they need a little bit of participation, or think how they can share the activity or the day by day in the respective libraries. So for that reason, we are surprised about this answer, because we see that the academic librarians are more participative and maybe have more interest to share what are doing in their respective libraries.
Yeah, you could think that we in Latin America are not as shy as other librarians in the world, but in fact the librarians in Latin America are very shy, as Saul would say. So when we ask to the librarians to tell us something about the best practices that they are doing in the libraries, almost all of them that I'm not doing nothing really good, I don't know. So it was really mixed, that result. If you see that graphics here, most of the libraries, as I told you, are academic libraries. This is the left. In the right, you see that the very majority of the libraries are public organizations, right? And another ones are funded by private funds, and the yellow ones are funded by the people. That's called popular libraries in our countries in Latin America. And you will hear what practices are we talking about at the end of the presentations. This is only the first step that resumes all the answers in one. Okay, what was the areas of innovation of these libraries? The 54% was about reading promotion. We are talking about, in Latin America, we are still talking about literacy, digital literacy, and sometimes informational literacy, or LIT as you tell us here. And the second one, by far, was education or training, and that was related to this literacy. The third, fourth, and five was library fundraising services and for specific publics, for example, disabled people, and for example, LGBT people, and library management as the last ones, because we are making some innovation in library management in Latin America. And what that stats tell to us? Well, to me, it tells that we are still looking inside the library. We are not looking outside the boundaries of the library. We are still very traditional, focused on very traditional services in libraries in Latin America, at least for these 42 libraries, you know. But we know, we in Medellin, I'm from Medellin, Colombia, for example, we have libraries working on sustainability. We have libraries working with training in urban gardening, for example. These are things that happen outside the library. But these people, even in my city, doesn't answer this survey. I don't know why. Yes. We're talking about that because maybe they think that this is not a service that has to be made by a library. Maybe. I don't know. Yes. Anything to add?
For example, in the case of Mexico, we have around 7,000 public libraries. So this is something that we are waiting obtain results like this. When the library, the main activity is education, for example, or scholar libraries. That's something interesting.
Well, en el caso de Puerto Rico.
If you want, I can translate. Do you learn Spanish? Everybody? You know? Okay, I will translate something.
Okay, en el caso de Puerto Rico, pienso que se podría extrapolar el caso al resto de Latinoamérica. Todas las bibliotecas hacen muchas cosas, pero no las publican, tal vez porque ellos entienden esta timidez de la que ya hemos hablado. Entienden que lo que están haciendo no es valioso y todo lo contrario, tenemos que empoderar a nuestras bibliotecas para que todo lo que hagan sea publicado, porque por más pequeño que sea una actividad, sirve de impacto para la comunidad que lo circunda y para el resto de las bibliotecas. Cuando nosotros
Yes, I know that later. In the case of Puerto Rico, you see, there's the same problem in Latin America. I don't know if Puerto Rico is really part of the United States or not, but there's a discussion of the feeling of the people, And the Puerto Rican libraries feels that librarians feel that they are not doing good things, but in fact they are doing good things. They don't know how to communicate that things. they don't communicate because they think they are not doing great things.
Yeah.
So we need to express by themselves in some way. That's one proposition that we have at the end of the presentation.
It's okay.
It's okay? Okay. Okay. Next. This is the last of the stats. Are we in the digital age? Is the question. The libraries in Latin America in the digital age. If we study what are the channels that we are using to not only communicate but to do these practices in libraries, we saw that 63% of that are digital. But as you see in the left, it's not the last technology. It's radio, it's SMS or non-smart communication platforms, and then the third place is the physical classroom, right? And only in the fourth and the fifth place are really digital ways to practice in the library. So the message here is that we don't need to be 2.0 or 3.0 to do innovation on our libraries. We can innovate with SMS, like a library in Colombia that send message to the farmers around the library with the weather forecast for the next day. That changed the lives of the farmers, right? Only with one computer and with a lot of SMS to the farmers, right? This is a nice thing to do. Okay, that is the last step. Now we have this list of the most standard cases. You can access that on the slides. We only want to show you one of these cases here.
Yes.
La Biblioteca de Santiago de Chile se distingue por la incorporación permanente de servicios y de las audiencias. Y ellos lo hacen reconociendo la necesidad de conocer las necesidades de su comunidad. Esto lo hacen por medio de una unidad dedicada a la investigación. Hacen estudios de usuarios constantemente para conocer lo que necesita su comunidad.
We have this library in the capital of Chile, Santiago. It's really outstanding because they have a user experience area specifically in the library. They are making studies in the community, not only to know their needs, but to design new services to cover these needs on the library. Okay?
Yeah. The service they provide are librarian technologicals and transversales.
Yes.
Can you translate with me? Okay. And they impact all the community with this service. Other services are extramuros, acceso extramuros. So they are programs, individual programs to serve some communities like old people,
Disabled people?
disabled
Yeah.
people, persons.
Yeah, incarcerated people.
Yeah.
They have many services for specific publics there in the library of Santiago de Chile. As you see here in the third point of the right, they have child rooms, they have literacy, and they have something really good. That is, they loan, for example, musical instruments. They loan umbrellas. You know any other?
They provide a variety of service, not usual service, like musical instruments, umbrellas, tools for work, and the people use this kind of service. In 1 year, they have about 3,700,000.
Yeah. But one of the things that is remarkable of this library is that they have this one librarian, only one librarian. But if you have only one, it make a change. Thinking all the time about how to study, how to fill the needs of your people, right? So this make a difference on any library as they can do that. I don't know if there are any more to say here. Okay, the success.
Successes.
Yes.
Los factores de éxito son las personas que consumen el ritmo,
They are focused on the people, yes.
tienen un equipo multidisciplinario comprometido con la filosofía y objetivos de la biblioteca. O sea que todo el equipo coopera para que la biblioteca trabaje en beneficio de las personas.
They have not only librarians there. I have to say, and I say that when I am in every workshop that I made for Gideon Access. Sometimes we, the librarians, are not as innovative as other people. For example, we have historians, we have artists in many libraries in Medellin that make really good innovations in our libraries. You have to be, if you don't have people that are working with you, maybe you can use a board of counselors within your community, but you can use every different profession there, not only the usual professions, but legal professions here, So think about how different and diverse could you use this team of board members for our counselors for your library. Okay, that's good. Okay, what's our goal? What are we proposing to you here? We want to make a project that is called Nombres de Pequeños. Do you understand that? Do you hear that Isaac Newton say that he made this really change in science because he was in shoulders of giants? Okay, we want to be in shoulders of little ones. So we want to give voice to every little library in Latin America with a wiki, right? It's not the last technology, but it's enough to give voice to these librarians in our little communities. We want you to participate on that. We want you to give us some help not only on the technical way, but on the practical way of this construction, right? This is our proposition to you right now. We have, for example, platforms like that in Colombia, in Latin America. This is a platform to collaborate, to found or to find what are the NGOs founding right now in Latin America. If you want to, for example, if you have, for example, a project on workforce development, you can go here and see what kind of corporations or foundations are interested on giving funds on that. So we have to do something like that with no cost for libraries, with no cost for not only libraries but librarians in Latin America, because this platform, not only for every library but for some libraries, have a little cost to access to that. Okay. Insights to remember. That's the only thing that we want you to remember when you go out here are two things. The first one is to know our community and their needs. It's the first step, as you see in the Santiago de Chile Library. How can we use information to transform lives? We don't have information to preserve the information in our libraries. We have this information to be used. This has to be understood by our libraries in Latin America. You maybe already understand that, but most of our librarians and our governments think that the libraries are buildings just to preserve the information, right? So we have to tell this to everyone in Latin America. And the last one, and connected with this, is the library without wall is not about buildings. is about librarians and community. It's about what we do, right? So we have to empower people in Latin America, as Mirna told you. We have to tell that this librarian that does not study an MLIS on library science, you have the power to change lives. Even if you don't make nothing like high school or something like that, you can change life. You can change your life, and you can change the life of your community, of your community here. So please do something with this information. Not only organize the votes here. Please do something with this information. This is the very best message that we have to tell you, and that we want not only to tell you, but to be shared with every people in Latin America and every Spanish speaker. Because we, as Spanish speakers, think that the libraries here or there in Latin America are only a building, right? We don't think it's a place to go and to produce or to change our lives. So it's a thing that starts with us, begins with us. These are our email, Mirna, Saúl, and my email. I'm Medellin, the last one. Gracias is thank you for everyone. And please, if you want to help us to share this message to everyone around Latin America here, we are pleased to receive you at the end. Thank you very much.
Oh, never mind.
Thank you so much for coming. Any questions for our speakers, please?
Thank you so much for sharing the details, some of the details of your survey. I'm really interested in knowing more about the examples that you compiled, and because we have a big audience here, and they're interested in knowing how to serve the communities they have in the various cities across the United States, and they might come from any number of countries in Latin America. For instance, we have many librarians working with collection development, web services, online services, and programming and technology. So if you can think a little bit about the results of your survey, because perhaps viewing the programs or the services that could help our audience and see how they could perhaps adapt services here. Thank you.
Of course, thank you, Loida. We have, okay, let us tell you about these 12 different cases that was remarkable of the 42. The first one is the Universidad Nacional de Quilmes in Argentina. They have a fundraising project, not only to fund the library, but to fund projects on research helped by the library. You know, if you have an academic library, you have access to the database of your students, of your teachers, of your researchers. So you can do these crowdfunding projects from the library to fund not only, I repeat, the library, but the research projects. They have this very interesting project in the library of Universidad Nacional de Quilmes. This is not organized, the worst from the best, or no, it's only, I think it's alphabetical or something. Okay, another one really good is in Hidalgo, Mexico. They have services for visual disabled people. They have a program to share reading time from other people that don't have disabilities. Okay, you just, if you are a member of the community, you say, okay, I have some time, please
I have some time on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday at this time. So you, the librarian, can call me if some people, some disabled people, need to read some book, not only academic book. There's a lot of academic books there, because maybe sometimes it's a student that need to research something. But even if it's a literary book, you can read the books for these people here. Well, another one is the University of Guadalajara Virtual Library. This is a library that has an open software initiative program now, and they have been using this open software for a couple of years, and it's a really good case of implementation of open software for a digital library. If you know, I don't know if you know KOHA, K-O-H-A. This is one of the software that they use there. Well, another one is the Santiago de Chile library that, as we told you. Another one is this one is very particular for me. I felt, I don't know if you hear it, that we in Colombia just affirmed the Treaty of Peace. It was the day before yesterday. So we put an end for a war that takes 52 years to firm that, to sign that. So it's this library has training program to prepare the community for the peace. You know, it sounds crazy, you know, but we have more than 3 generations suffering the war, so you have to be prepared to live in a different world. You know? I don't know what's Colombia without war. Yes, so you think about the childs or the young people, how they will feel when there's no war in our country. These are a very beautiful program to train the people here in Colombia. Okay, the another one is okay. The name of this library in Colombia is Biblioteca Pública La Victoria. So it's a name by itself really beautiful, because it's public library the victory. You know, it's kind of it was casual. No? Another one is in Guadalajara, the cry of Universidad Panamericana de Guadalajara. It's a private university, right? Right. And they have this Center for Research and Access to Information. They have, I think, Makerspace or something like that. They have, it's privately funded, you know, so they are in the top of the innovations that you see not only there in Latin America, but here. We, for example, in Cali, in Colombia, have a little library that made a 3D printer by itself, a do-it-yourself printer, but they didn't answer this. So I can tell us you why, but they have this one. Another one is the Universidad Cooperativa de Colombia. They have more than 18 libraries all over Colombia. They've been using for about 40 years catalog cards, physical cards, you know. They are about 2 years ago, they are implementing a software to integrate all the libraries. So that is the remarkable case here, because they use an open software too. And the another one is, and the last one, is a child popular library of our neighborhood called Coronel Suarez. They have a radio show. You know, it's in this one is in Argentina, and when they have this epidemic of a flu, right? A flu, the childs of the country can go to the schools. So, and the government says that please don't go out of your houses for these months and then. So the library asks, okay, what can we do to help the child to study from their homes? So they just start the radio show, and even when the epidemic go away, they maintain the radio show, and they are not only helping child to do their homework, but they are doing reading promotion in the radio show. The radio, the SMS, not the smartphones, the SMS, basic SMS, are, as I told you before, two of the preferred channels to gain access people or communities to the libraries in Latin America. I think if you see around here, you saw that the Latin immigrants here, even if they have smartphones, they don't know how to use the smartphones very good. So to use this very basic SMS or something with information that really is urgent to the people, you can make really good things with your communities, right? If you want to know more, we will be doing a post on infotecarios.com, a bilingual post on Spanish and English about every of the 42, not only these 12, every one of the 42 cases there. Yes, so you can learn a lot of more there in Infotecarios.
Any other questions, please? You can go to the microphone.
I think I can do it. So I see a Brazil one. My question was before, before I saw Brazil there. Why not Brazil? Is it because the language is different, or?
Okay. Brazil is one of the most advanced countries in libraries, in fact. We have only one, I think we have, because I think she lives in Infotecarios, one people writing post in Brazil for us. But one of the barriers here is the language. You know, even if you speak Portuñol, that is like Spanglish, you know, it's difficult to us to understand Portuguese and to them to understand Spanish. We have this one. This is a one from a private, a public polytechnic university. They are integrating processes. They are migrating to a software, an open software. They are doing learning training to workforce development, not only for the people that is studying there, but for people around. Because we have another thing that I forgot to tell you is the libraries in Latin America, even if they are not public libraries, they have public access to the people, right? Because we don't have too many libraries that really got good collections. So if you have a library that is a scholar library, you have to gain access to the community around you to be aware of the information that is here, right? Is there. So I think, to answer your question, that we have more interesting cases in Brazil, but we want to do, that's one of the reasons that we want to do this project, not only to do it in digital, because we want to send people from the cities closest to the libraries to ask the librarians, what are you doing here? Please just fill this form, even in paper, and we go to the digital wiki and we post this project by digital to others, right?
Any other questions?
I'm also from Medellin, so it's cool to see a fellow librarian from Medellin.
Can you talk a little bit more about this category that you have, the popular library, which I don't think that exists here.
Yes.
So I think that's an interesting category. Can you talk a little bit about how they're funded or what type of library is that, popular library?
Yeah, I know, that's why I told you that it's a Latin American type of library, right? In fact, we have too many public libraries that begins being popular libraries. So what's a popular library? You have a community, and you know, maybe you are a retired person, and you see that your community needs a library, so you go around asking the people to give you books, and you found a library in your community by yourself. This is a popular library, right? Because you're funded by yourself, you receive some help from others, and it's a public library because it has public access. But they don't have any funds from the government. It's all popular, right? We have some networks in Medellin, for example, of popular libraries that help in some way to do these funds from private companies, not from the government. And that's why most of them has become public libraries, because they need public funds to survive, right? In fact, one of the most innovative libraries in Medellin, that is the public library of La Loma, is one of the neighborhoods, of the most violent neighborhoods on the where was popular at the beginning. Right now it's popular library. For example, they are doing, I know maybe you heard that before, they are doing aerial photographs of the neighborhoods with the people, and put histories, geolocating histories of the people on OpenStreetMap. They're doing things like that. This is a really good practice to feel the people empowered by the neighborhood from the library. So that's popular libraries. I don't know if it's enough. It's a kind of library founded by people, and with funds of the people, with collections given by people, that sometimes became public libraries. Sometimes they just popular libraries all the time.
Any other questions?
You mentioned that Infotecarios is a space, the web online space. How many hits do you receive monthly or annually? I just want you to share this with our audience, because it's a space by and for librarians that is reaching out thousands of information professionals in Latin America. And that's what we brought you here.
Yes. This is the last one of the stats, right? We have 500,000 visitors on the blog, and by month it was around 20,000, I think, 20,000 by month, because we have more than, right now, 600,000 visualizations of the blog. Sorry? It's what's the amount of access that you have in your blog. In people, in IP, so if we can say technically, we have around 5,000 different persons every month accessing to our blog. Right?
Yeah, the represents some statistics, and the analytics of the blog show that number. Basically, that refers to the people that have access to the blog. This is important because some interesting things here in these numbers. We have access mainly from Spain. This is one of the important community that access to the blog, Spain. Next country is Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, I think. But we have bases around all around the world. This is interesting too, because we have the impact, and we can share this knowledge and all the interesting comments of all the other participants from all the Americas. So that's interesting. So when we were working with the review this ethics, we had different followers in different social networks like Facebook, Twitter. We have channels in other media like YouTube and G+, but we center the strategy of social media in these two specific networks. Because we think like a librarian, we think we need to be where we are our users. So that's the reason to use this two specific words, Pinterest, live stream, for example. We have the stream here in 3 different networks, Galoplex, Periscope, and live stream. So we try to share with all the community all that kind of things. For example, this session.
Yeah. And we have to say that, so if you allow me that, I think that maybe the reach that we have is even most important in social media than in the blog itself, because we have conversations around the topics that we post on our blogs in Twitter, for example, with colleagues from Spain or from Brazil, for example, and we made some connections with other communities like Aprender 3C, that is a community of learning, a platform of learning for librarians, and we make webcasts there. Sometimes with collaboration between Infotecarios and Aprender 3C. So if you just go to our blog and discover not only how can we learn from you and how can we teach you, if you allow me to say that, but how can we collaborate, as we told you before, to be better not only in Latin America but here for Spanish speakers, right?
Another interesting thing is we try to create community. All the professionals of information science and the people that are interested in the libraries. This is another interesting thing that we have in this blog. And of course, the idea of share not only what we make, share the ideas of others. So we have in this blog, for example, a section where we invite to another professionals to write here, and of course make a publication. This is a blog, so we don't have the structure to be a magazine or something like that. So we have a relaxed style to write here and to share all the things that we think is important to the community and the professionals of library science and the people that are interested. Because in many cases, the library in the public library isn't a professional. It's a people that have work only there, that don't have only the studies of high school or something like that. So this is an opportunity to share what interesting things are making in the day by day.
And you can go inside the blog and you will find political topics, technical topics, art topics, a lot of different views of the world of librarians out there. And so you are really, truly invited to go to infotecarios.com and be part of this movement. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Let's give them a big applause.